vedrai farfallon amoroso, notte e giorno d'intorno girano.
Hi, Pizza Doctor here. Today we're going to be making a dough that we're going to use on the grill. This is something I mentioned in my earlier video, which I hope you enjoyed, on beginner pizza making. So today we're going to be using a traditional style of mixing the dough and the water and the other ingredients without using a standing mixer. And I'm hoping to take you on the journey that took me over 12 years to find the best way, most consistent way that we can make a great pizza in the home that you can find as good as almost anywhere in the world. Now, tonight we're going to be looking at using the same flour that we used in my earlier video, the Antimo Caputo, which is the double O milled flour. The water we'll be using is the Dasani water again, and as I mentioned earlier, you can use reverse osmosis water. We are going to use some olive oil, which the most traditional recipes don't use any olive oil. They only use the 4 ingredients of the flour, the water, the yeast, and the salt. But I do like this, and I think it adds something to the final product that you'll get. We're going to be using our good sea salt, and then of course we'll need yeast, and here we'll have some dry instant yeast, which we're going to measure out and use that as part of our mixture.
Quando stacchi stretto sacco, schioppo in spalla, sciabla a fianco, collo dritto, muso franco, un gran casco, un gran turbante, molto onor, poco cantante, poco cantante, poco cantante. Ed invece
You're going to use your left hand to mix with. I've obviously washed my hands well, and we're going to use a method where we just kind of sprinkle the flour into the mixture, and we do, the Italians call it raining the flour in, and they think that that adds some oxygen to the mix, or air into the mix. And as we're doing that, we're going to slowly mix with our left hand, keeping our right hand clean in case we have to add other things around here. What I found works out really well is to start with your salt, and we're just going to take that salt and we're going to sprinkle a little bit in, and then we're going to just take our hand like this and mix it up, and we want to get that nice and dissolved so we get the full effect of that salt throughout the mixture that we have. You'll see different orders of how the masters will add their ingredients, but I find that this one works well with me. And here we're going to be doing a warm rise on this dough, which as we go through some more videos later on, we'll go through some cold rises where we keep the dough in the refrigerator and we slow that rise down over time so we allow the flavor to develop further. But this one works good over a warm rise of 24 hours, and it'll give you a very nice end result with this amount. So we just added our 12 grams of salt, and remember, we don't want to add our yeast until we've added some of the flour mixture in. So here we're going to add some flour once we get this going here, and just kind of sprinkle that in on the surface, start that in there, and use your fingers to kind of break the flour up. And the goal here is we're trying to hydrate that flour as much as possible, because when you just dump in the water in a pile of flour, as much as you might mix it up and think you got it all mixed through, I don't think it mixes as well as it does this way, because this really gets all the fine particles, particularly with this finely milled flour, mixed in. So we're going to get this mixed up here a little bit, and we're going to add that as a buffer to protect the yeast when we add that. And this does take a little more time and effort. You have to get kind of used to the feeling of the dough, the flour mixture with the water in your hands. But I think you'll be pleased with the end result. It's starting to get more like a very, very loose cake batter. So don't be tempted to add water to your dough or to add flour. Go with your mixtures as we've talked about as far as the percentages. You may need to add a little sprinkle here and there at the end, but right now this looks like it's not really coming together all that great, but there's plenty of moisture in here, and that's something that you learn with experience, that even though it seems like it's a lot of extra flour there and it's not really coming together right, you'll see here how that all just kind of comes together. I'm just going to squeeze through because a lot of that moisture is still in the center there, and that's where the wetness of the dough is. So I'm just going to press down here, and then when we get to a certain point, I'm going to go ahead and add the oil. We'll go ahead and do that now.
Delle belle turbando a riposo, ma ci setto a Tocino d'amor. Delle belle turbando a riposo, ma ci setto a Tocino d'amor. Fra guerrieri può far bacco, grande stacchi stretto.
Now we can see what that looks like, and here's our mass of flour and water and olive oil.
Un gran casco, un gran turbante, molto onor, poco cantante, poco cantante, poco cantante. Ed invece del fandango, una marcia.
Okay, so we've been working this dough for about 15 minutes, and these are some of the techniques that we use. We just roll it out this way. We can do a corkscrew, trying to develop again those gluten molecules. Hit it down like that. You can throw the whole thing down. So if your dough feels a little bit too firm, give it a few of those and that'll loosen it up. This dough has come along pretty nicely here. We see it's kind of smooth there. We pull that, so we got that skin that we could create, and that skin is important when we make our dough balls later on. We're just going to introduce some air pockets here, fold those in, fold it in again, and then give it a few of these. And we could take our bench scraper here and give it a cut and just see what that looks like in the middle there. And we can see that the flour is mixed in nicely, and we don't expect to see much in the way of any rise at this point yet. So we'll just give it a little bit more work here, but it's got some elasticity to it. And we're just going to pinch that up there. It's got a little bit of wetness to it, which is fine because we increase the hydration. And then just as we did before, we're going to put it into our container here. And I do like to put a drop or two of oil on it. I know some others that say that they don't like to add any oil, but just very little bit there and just kind of coat the surface. Usually there's a little bit left in your measure. Oop, more than a little. Okay. And then we're going to cover it with our airtight container. And then we're going to put a damp dish towel on top, keep some moisture in the area. And then we're going to let that rise for a warm rise for 12 to 24 hours. Hi again, it's the Pizza Doctor, and today we're going to be making a pizza on the grill. Something I talked about in my previous video, and I think it's one of the best ways to get some really good pizza. I am going to compare it to the electric pizza oven that I have, and we're going to see how it compares between those two approaches to baking this pizza. So we have our dough that we made yesterday, and it's over 24 hours. It's been proofing, and I balled it up about 2 hours ago. We have our mozzarella. This time we're going to use something a little bigger than those pearls we used last time. I like these a little bit better, and it's from Belgioioso. The basil, fresh basil, and again we're using the sauce, Moody sauce, and a little bit of grated cheese here. Once we get that pizza stone up to temperature, we'll see how we do with that, and I'm looking forward to exploring that with you.
Non chiudrai farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girando, delle belle turbando al riposo, narcisetto adocino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, narcisetto adocino d'amor. Fra guerrieri può far bacco, grande stacchi stretto sacco, schioppo in spalla, sciabla a fianco, collo dritto, muso franco, un gran casco, un gran turbante, molto onor, poco cantante, poco cantante, poco cantante. Ed invece del fandango una marcia per il fango.
So here we are, we did our pizza on the grill. So one of the limitations of doing pizza on the grill is you don't get that top char. But for $50, and most people have a grill and the weather's getting nice, it's an excellent option for making pizza that your family will love and enjoy. Hope to see you soon. I'll be doing some future videos on gluten-free pizza, advanced dough making. So if you like what you saw, please click the like button down below and subscribe to my channel. Buonasera. Have a great evening.
Delle belle turbando al riposo, narcisetto adocino d'amor.